What is the perfect way to motivate everybody in Dragon Ball Super? Well, to answer your question, alrighty guys, it is Quaman here today, and today I'm joined with Oppai Senpai from Anime Live Reactions. How you doing today, bro?
Hola mi gente, I'm doing great, brother. Thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah, so we're going to be talking about one of the more recent things about Dragon Ball Super, in which it's pretty much heavily implied who was the one who actually hired Hit to actually assassinate Goku, as Geekdom's talked about this in this video, and as I saw a lot of you guys talking about in my comment section below. So without wasting any more time, we're going to be talking about how the actions of what this particular individual could do can obviously motivate everybody in every little way, and sharing our thoughts on such. So without wasting any more time, let's get straight into this video, and there will be spoilers for those of you who don't want to continue listening. So let's go. So, coming up with the future spoilers, it's pretty much said that Vados is the one who hired Hit to kill Goku, but that there was a true client who obviously was really behind all of the scenes. And for those of you who are not familiar with what Geekdom said, or what a lot of you guys said in my comment section, is the theory is that Whis is pretty much the one that hired, or even in some ways potentially Beerus. Whis is the one who hired Hit, and he told Vados to hire Hit to go pretty much try and kill Goku as motivation for this upcoming Universal Survival arc. And the evidence for suggesting such is the fact that when you look at the sequences, Whis seemed very confident about what was happening, and if you also look at it, Beerus at the beginning of the episode was talking about how Goku was the star fighter of Universe 7, so without him, you know, their team is pretty much screwed. And in doing that, in Beerus saying that Goku's the star fighter, Beerus is motivating Vegeta to push himself, and by sending Hit to go kill Goku, that's going to motivate Goku. And the thing I wanted to talk about, John, is that by killing Goku, or potentially hurting Goku, because obviously in the preview Goku's not dead, by showing that Goku is vulnerable to potential villains, that now puts the onus on the other characters in Dragon Ball Super to now train themselves for this Universal Survival arc. So really, in essence, because of Hit, Goku's motivated, because of Beerus saying that Goku's a star fighter, Vegeta's motivated, and because Goku could possibly lose, the other characters are motivated. And John, I kind of wanted to get your sense as to whether or not you think this is a perfect way to motivate all of these characters after I've narrated all of this stuff.
I think it's a particular, I'm not sure about all the characters, but Gohan, he's the one who checked the heartbeat, the pulse, and he was the first person to realize, oh my goodness, my dad is dead. So I think he is going to have a special motivation that, you know what, I've been relying on Goku and Vegeta to take care of everything, but they can easily be killed by other people. So I need to step it up, and I need to make a huge comeback. And I think that's gonna be his personal motivation, that he needs to realize that it's not, his father is not unbeatable. He can easily be beat by another person, and he needs to work up to a higher level. And in addition, when it comes to the other characters, though, I don't quite know what their motivation is gonna be. I think they're just in it in terms of survival, but I think the three people who have the deepest actual connection to like a real motivation would be Gohan, Vegeta, and Goku. So those are the three people that I feel have the strongest motivation.
Right, now let's talk more so about, you know, the actual other characters in the series. And I kind of wanted to bring you guys a little bit back to Dragon Ball. The funny thing is that if you guys remember back in Dragon Ball, Goku has always kind of had a rival from the very beginning up until now. At the beginning of the series, although I wouldn't really consider him a rival, Yamcha was definitely an antagonist. And then later on, when you see where Krillin, you know, obviously travels to train with Master Roshi, Krillin now became Goku's rival up to a certain point in the series. And then when we transition from here, we then see that later on Tien in the 22nd tournament then becomes Goku's, you know, rival counterpart. And we see that in the 23rd tournament, that when Goku had shown his ability to defeat Tien after losing to him on that technicality from the 22nd tournament, then Piccolo now became his rival. And then later on in the Saiyan arc, when Piccolo was weaker in power, then Vegeta now became his rival. And Vegeta has been his constant rival for so many years throughout Dragon Ball. and he eventually admitted that Goku was obviously stronger than him during the whole Kid Buu fight. Now, let's look at Dragon Ball GT. In Dragon Ball GT, that storyline kind of shows that, I guess you could say, continued story plot where Vegeta kind of seems a lot more reserved about his rivalry with Goku. It's not as intense as it once was because Vegeta kind of admitted Goku was stronger than him. But looking at Dragon Ball Super kind of switched that around and kind of made Vegeta the rival all over again. But now it seems like Hit is now taking on that role as Goku's new rival, as we saw in the Universe 6 arc that obviously Vegeta lost to Hit, and although Goku technically lost too, Goku put up a much better fight, and by observing how Vegeta fought him, Goku kind of was intrigued by Hit's power. So what we're seeing is, it seems like Dragon Ball is taking on the roots of its old days, of now taking a new character and kind of replacing the old rival in order to both motivate Vegeta and to give somebody new for Goku to motivate himself for. What do you think about all that, John?
Absolutely, I agree. I actually love this direction that they're taking because I'm kind of tired of the whole Vegeta and Goku rivalry, and I always wanted them to bring in somebody that will basically become the new rival for Goku, and then where Vegeta needs to step it up and just try to reach to that level, and that is Hit. Hit, the legendary assassin, was able to defeat Goku with one punch, and I feel that Goku is now, so we've seen Goku act unnormally. He's been acting very weird lately in the recent episode where he was eating one grain of rice, he was meditating, and he was really focused on Hit, and he knew that he was going to be attacked. So I feel like this is something we haven't seen. We haven't seen Goku being this excited and motivated in a long time. This is actually really, really exciting for him, and I think this is a great direction for them to take on, because now that Vegeta is almost becoming pushed to the side, that means he has an amazing opportunity to make a huge comeback at the tournament.
Yes, absolutely. And I feel like, a lot of, I love Vegeta. Vegeta's one of my favorite characters. I'm in no way throwing Vegeta down the bus, guys. I'm just saying that's just been the direction of his character. He has had, some moments throughout Dragon Ball Super thus far, but I really feel like, like I said, guys, we don't know for a 100% fact that, even though it's insanely strongly implied in the show, that, Whis was the one, or potentially Beerus was the one who motivated, Hit to go assassinate Goku, because of the fact that obviously Whis has a connection to Vados, as that's obviously his sister. So who else would be the perfect person to go send Hit to go kill Goku other than Whis? And Whis would obviously be self-aware about the Dragon Balls on Earth. So first of all, Whis knows that if Goku dies, they can easily bring him back. He knows that if Goku comes back to life, that he will be motivated to train and get himself a lot stronger. And Whis also would have a reason to tell Goku, because if you remember, John, back at the tournament, you gotta think, what other person would send Hit to go kill Goku? It has to be a person who's self-aware of who Goku is. So it has to be somebody on the inside, because people in Universe 6 don't really know about Goku. Obviously, we saw in Kaiju, but you know what I mean.
Well, in Vision, it has to be a god. The only way you can travel across multiverses or across other universes is through that cube that Hit always wanted. So it will have to be a god level person. But before I get to this, I want to make a quick observation. It's interesting that the strongest person it doesn't necessarily mean that they are the motivation of each character. So for example, when it comes to Hit, okay, Goku, that's his motivation. But when it comes to Kaba, even though there's stronger characters than Vegeta, his motivation is Vegeta. And then when it comes to Vegeta, his motivation isn't Hit, it's Goku. So it's almost like who they have a personal connection or a personal beef or some sort of personal encounterment with, that's who they want to kind of reach. Not necessarily the strongest person. But in terms of Whis, I do think he makes more sense, because I don't see why. Well, we do know Vados isn't the one she hired Hit, but she's not the one in charge. Now Champa, he wouldn't make sense, because if he was to take out Goku maliciously, that would create huge beef with the God of Destruction, Beerus, and he wouldn't be training Goku because it's not from his universe. Now Beerus, it would either have to be Beerus or Whis, the one who told Vados to do that, because Beerus can either be training Goku, as you mentioned that he's focused on him, but I also have a feeling that he may not be in this fully. He may not know fully what's going on. It could be that Whis took it upon himself to do additional training for Goku, but we'll find out very soon.
Right. And like you said earlier, John, you know, to touch on a little bit more about Gohan, obviously seeing Goku dead, and obviously the previous arcs that we've seen thus far, how he wasn't able to partake in the Universe 6 tournament. He wasn't really helpful, you know, during the Zamasu Future Trunks arc. And then if you also look at Resurrection F, you know, everybody was pretty much screwed up until Goku and Vegeta came back. So really, Gohan has a lot of reasons to try and redeem himself in the series, and I definitely think that could also motivate him too. So definitely.
And what's interesting is that this isn't the first time we had the same motivation from Gohan, because he felt like it's his fault his daddy was killed by Cell, or he had to, you know, self-destruct. He feels guilty, and the fact that this is deja vu again for him is bringing back those memories, and he's like, you know what, I've taken it easy for all this time, but this is deja vu, I need to step it up. So it's very, very personal for Gohan seeing his father dead like that.
Right. So with everything else said, guys, I think this has been a fun conversation today. Honestly, I think this is a perfect way to motivate all of the characters in Dragon Ball Super. John, what's your final take?
Yeah, I love this direction. I love Super right now is my favorite out of Dragon Ball Z, just because we're taking a direction that's already comics have already taken, DC, Marvel, and I love the fact that they're exploring new areas, new twists, and going to other universes and meeting gods and such things. So I love, but at the same time, I love how they're still bringing back elements from the past with Easter eggs and with motivation. And I think Super's doing a great job.
Right. And ultimately, like I said, the other characters like Piccolo, you know, Krillin, Roshi, 17, 18, all these other characters have their own motivation, but it would be great to really see them back in action again, because really, let's be honest, they've kind of been irrelevant in terms of power up until this point. But with everything else, yes, Sean?
Yeah, they've been irrelevant, but I feel like now they're gonna be they're gonna get an upgrade, and they're gonna go from irrelevant to supporting role.
Alright, so with everything else said, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this conversation. Let us know what you think in the comment section below. Do you guys think this is the perfect way to motivate all of the characters in Dragon Ball Super? And I really like to hear your thoughts. And in addition to this, check out Oppai Senpai's channel in my description. So with everything else said, please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. And remember, as I always say, to have a great day, guys.